Hello, friends. I'm Laura Barat from laurabaratastrologer.com. If you're new to my channel, I am a tropical Vedic astrologer and cards of truth reader. Okay, so today I am discussing Mercury in the first house. And I'm doing a series of planets through the houses, and all the planets through all the houses is going to take a while to do. I'm trying for once a week. Hopefully I'll get there, but I'm not so sure about that. But that's what I'm trying for. Okay, so today it's Mercury in the first. And this is actually a very good position for Mercury to be in, to have Mercury in the first house, because Mercury gets Digbala, or directional strength, in the first, as does Jupiter. So Jupiter and Mercury in the first is a wonderful position for them. Now, obviously, these planets will behave differently if they're conjoined Saturn, which will starve them, or if they are in enemy signs, or if they're with another enemy planet, okay? Jupiter is not an enemy to any planet. It's enemy to no planet. Mercury does not do well in signs of the moon, and that's it. Okay, the moon is the only enemy of Mercury. The friends of Mercury are the Sun and Venus. So Mercury does well in Leo, Taurus, and Libra. Mercury does extremely well in Virgo, where he's exalted, and Mercury does well in Gemini. Okay, very good there, because that's his own sign. All the other signs are neutral except for Cancer. Okay, but generally speaking, Mercury will do very well in the first because of the directional strength. Now, what does that mean? A lot of people want to know, what does directional strength mean? It means that, well, astronomically, it means that Mercury was on the eastern horizon, or was rising when you were born, or in the general area of rising, okay? Then it means that when planets have Digbala, that they're able to lead you to happiness and contentment with the significations of the planet. Okay, so Mercury in the first leads you to happiness through learning and experimenting with things, investigating things, which is all in the realm of Mercury, developing skills, differentiating, categorizing, discrimination. That's all Mercury, okay? Mercury is friendship, okay, training, apprenticeship. Mercury is practice, the repetitiveness you need to get really good at something. That's why Mercury rules training. So learning anything new and getting really good at it is in the realm of Mercury. Gemini astrology assigns Mercury to art and performing arts. So painting, drawing, all of those things, including and also performance. And the reason he does is because to get really good at those things, you need to practice. You need to keep doing it, and it requires a lot of skills. And so the actual finished product of art, like the finished painting or the performance or the piece of music, whatever it is, that's Venus. But Mercury is all of the skill that goes into being an artisan. So Mercury rules art too. So Mercury is able to lead the person to happiness the closer he is to the Ascendant through his significations. So playing games, having any type of game you play will lead you to more happiness if Mercury is closer to the Ascendant, especially if he's in the Ascendant. If Mercury is in the 12th house or the second house, he still has a lot of Digbala strength, okay? And so he can also lead a person to happiness being there with his significations. And Mercury and Jupiter are both planets of the self, because we they have to do with us learning something, us training for something, us practicing as a human, as our own self, okay? It doesn't involve other people, and it doesn't involve like power and influence. They're very much connected to our own being and individuality. Jupiter is more of learning on a philosophical level, learning a higher level. Mercury is initiatory instructions. And Mercury is basically learning how things work, okay? Doing something that has already worked, like when you learn to read or you learn your maths or learn a new skill, learn some technical type of thing. That's all in the realm of Mercury. Jupiter more has to do with philosophizing or learning, spirituality and creative thinking, being more creative. But Mercury is all of the initiatory instructions and training, okay, and investigating and practicing and experimenting with things. Those are all things that we need to do on our own. So that's why they get such power in the first house. The first house is also a house of destiny, okay? Planets in the first and the seventh are planets of destiny. They are part of our life's path. And they can give profession. Planets in the first house can give profession. There's other ways to tell profession with something called the Atmakaraka and the Padas. But planets in the first can also give a strong indication of profession. And Mercury, of course, rules a lot of professions because he is so skillful. So he rules arts and performing arts. He rules law. He rules management. And when I say law, I mean man-made law. Okay, the law of the land. He rules management. And some other things. Communications, PR, public relations, any of those type of things. Now, communications, when it's on the internet or involved with computers or phones or technology, is ruled by Rahu. So, if it's used to communicate, you have to have Mercury in there somewhere, okay? But it just means that when Mercury's in your first house, you're going to meet with you're going to walk a path of Mercury. You're going to meet with phenomena ruled by Mercury throughout your life. Whether you get into a profession that's ruled by Mercury or in your free time, you're doing mercurial things like playing games, being an investigator, training for something, all of those types of things. Also, the game of life, playing the game of life. There's two things. There's the game of life and the struggle of life. The struggle of life is ruled by Mars. The game of life, playing the game of life, is ruled by Mercury. And so it gives the person the tools to understand that life is a game. A lot of it is. And you have to play that game, and they can play it very well. How well they play it is more dependent upon if Mercury is with a friend or if Mercury is with an enemy, okay? So if Mercury is with the moon, there is, or in Cancer, then there is a little bit of emotional need around how you play the game of life, okay? And emotional need in investigating and experimenting with different types of things, which isn't ideal, okay? Because Mercury is designed to categorize things and to, understand which one is better and go with the one after they've experimented with it to go with the best one rather than having some type of emotional attachment to all the different categories that Mercury has ascertained. So, and Mercury in the first can also make a person very highly intellectual. It can make a person bilingual, trilingual, a polyglot, very good with languages, and generally very articulate. Okay. So yeah, those are the indications of Mercury. It can also make a person extremely friendly. They make friends very easily. And they can, and they have good friends. Okay. So Mercury is a very important planet for relationships, even romantic relationships, because you're able to relate to people. You relate to your partner on a friendlier level. So yeah, that is what I wanted to talk about with Mercury in the first. Also, Mercury is one of the planets. Mercury is said to give a really nice, even body. That's what it says in Parashara. Okay. And Mercury is said to have a golden complexion. Okay. And since Mercury rules the sign of Gemini, Gemini is considered to be a good-looking sign. That's what it's actually in Jaimini. It's an obscure sutra having to do with the spouse and what the spouse looks like, and he specifically names Gemini. Okay, and yeah, I don't. Mercury has to be. He doesn't give beauty according to Jaimini, but I think that in a lot of ways he does give a very evenly proportioned physique. So that's what I've seen. And I've also seen it work when Mercury is conjoined certain house cusps. It can make the house cusp represented by the person, or the person represented by the house cusp that Mercury is conjoined, can give those qualities to that person in the native's life. All right. So that is how Mercury will manifest in the first house, which is the house of you. Okay. The house of your body, your general characteristics, and your path in life. Okay. So thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye.